Good morning, everyone. My name is Fortune, and I thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail in 2023 and 2024. I just want to take a few moments and talk to you today about my 5 favorite sections of the AT. Now, this isn't just about the beauty, because it's beautiful from one end to the other. All types of forests, all types of mountains, meadows. It doesn't matter what it is, it's beautiful in its own way. And no one section is more beautiful than the other. This is simply just my 5 favorites, depending on beauty, the trail itself, my experience, the weather, all kinds of variables. These are my 5 favorites, and I wanted to share them with you. If you have a chance to go out and section hike any of these, if you're not going to be through hiking, definitely do so, as they are at the top of my list in the 2,197-mile Appalachian Trail. If you like what you see, please subscribe, as I am always showing my adventures on here, bringing you right along with me so you can enjoy the trail with me. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 5. In heading north on the Appalachian Trail, once you cross over from Tennessee into Virginia in the town of Damascus, most thru-hikers will take a day or a partial day to resupply and get some rest, do some laundry. In Damascus, Virginia, once you take off, you start climbing immediately. Once you climb right around 20 miles or so, you are climbing White Top Mountain and coming to the summit of 360 views. Absolutely stunning. The last time I was there, the last through hike, I timed it just right where I got the sunset at night and woke to the sunrise in the morning. Both epic views. You then go along the ridge over to Mount Rogers, which is the tallest point of Virginia, standing about 5,700 feet. And although the summit is actually socked in with beautiful pine trees, right below that, a couple hundred feet, is some epic views. And then you start walking towards the Grayson Highlands. The Grayson Highlands are beautiful because they're so unlike anything else in the South. In Virginia or North Carolina or Tennessee, anything you've seen before that on the AT. Not only that, but you have the wild ponies and the wild longhorns. Some call them the Texas Longhorns. I don't know if that's their official name or if they're just Longhorns, because it's obviously not Texas. But between the wildlife and the beautiful views of rocky and kind of a burnt color on a lot of the plants and so forth, but it's also the trail is just kind of scrambly at times and rocky, not real smooth, just absolutely stunning views all around. So not only is it beautiful views, but you have to work for them, and you feel the grind usually in your feet and in your legs, which is part of the journey and part of why I love it. And that is why from Damascus through the Grayson Highlands, that 40-ish mile section is number 5 on my list. And now let's talk about number 4. You may have heard of the Triple Crown of thru hiking, which includes the 3 big trails in the U.S., the Appalachian Trail, Pacific Crest Trail, and the Continental Divide Trail, in no specific order. But in Virginia, there is also a Triple Crown. It is the Triple Crown of Virginia, including Dragon's Tooth, McAfee Knob, and Tinker Cliffs. I actually did this all in one day. Some people break it up over 2 or 3 days. I actually had camped on the south end of Dragon's Tooth in a very cold night, very crisp and clear, but started to snow as I was climbing up Dragon's Tooth, and the clouds kind of rolled in, which actually caused an even more beautiful sunrise that morning over Dragon's Tooth as I was climbing. Beautiful rock formations, a little bit of scrambling, a little bit of sketchiness on Dragon's Tooth. You then continue on to the very famous McAfee Knob, which are a cliff, one that you see pictures of often. The cliff looking over is beautiful, but there's another cliff right down next to it. Looks very similar with a similar type of views, very beautiful views overlooking the valley and the mountains in the distance. So if it's ever crowded on the first one, you could go to that second one. Most people don't know about it, or a lot of people don't know about it. So that is absolutely stunning. And then you go on to Tinker Cliffs, where you can walk along cliffs for, I think it's about a mile or so, getting the drop downs into the valley with the beautiful mountains. It is some of the most epic views, and I got a day on the last time when I did the Triple Crown to be able to see the sunset and the sunrise all at one day in one swoop. It then takes you, when you're ending Tinker Cliffs, the next shelter I think is a mile or two away, and that is about 8 to 10 miles south of Daleville, Virginia. And it's absolutely beautiful all through that area as well. So I would suggest starting in the Dragon Tooth area and going all the way to Daleville. Absolutely epic views. And that's why it's number 4 on the list. Now let's talk about number 3. I had to come inside because the mosquitoes have decided that they wanted to suck the soul from my body. I don't know why they're so bad. It's fall time. Anyway, I digress. Talking about number 3, which is the Roan Highlands. If you're going to do a section hike of this area, I would highly recommend starting in Irwin and heading all the way to 19E in Roan Mountain, the town. Starting in Irwin would get you through Beauty Spot and Unaka Mountain, beautiful views of forest, and then up top on the summits as well. And then you would walk into Roan Highlands, the Roan Highlands, which are absolutely epic and beautiful. I've had 2 different experiences in Roan, very drastic differences. The first, I got caught in a blizzard, which dumped about 12 inches of snow, 50 mile per hour winds, and beautiful, beautiful scenery, but very drastic temperatures, falling 10 and 20 below wind chill. I had to keep going. I couldn't stop. I couldn't turn around and go back because of where I was when everything started happening. So I had to push through a 29-mile day. It would have been very detrimental for me to stop. So I kept on going, but it was a winter wonderland. It was absolutely stunning and beautiful on all aspects. And then the following year, the following through hike, it was the exact opposite. Nice, warm, mild temperatures, warmer than it should be that time of year. There was a little bit of ice close to Roan Mountain, but that was it. It was absolutely stunning. So what happens is it takes you through Beauty Spot, Unaka, then through the Roan Highlands, which will take you through a beautiful pine forest going through Roan Mountain or up to Roan Mountain. And then you would cross over Carver's Gap, which takes you to some stunning views on some bald mountains, James Mountain, Grassy Bald. I actually forget the name of the other one that's right there. You then go back into the forest, beautiful forest once again, and then you're up on Little Hump and Hump Mountain. All of these mountains are at 6,000 or close to 6,000. Nothing real sketchy as far as drop-offs or anything like that, or the trail scrambly or anything like that. You do have some rocks that you climb on, but nothing like climbing boulders or anything like that. It's all, the beginner hiker could get out there and do this as well. One of the most beautiful sections, especially those balds, it's going right down the state line of Tennessee and North Carolina. So over to your left, if you're going north, you're seeing Tennessee, and to your right, you're seeing North Carolina. Stunning, stunning views. It's going to be windy though, at least at Little Hump and Hump Mountain, if nothing else. So windy it might knock you over or close to it. But it's worth it for the beautiful views and the grind to get through. I would check it out in almost all the seasons. It's so beautiful if I were you. But that is why it's number 3 on my list. Now let's talk about number 2. If you've been hiking going northbound on the AT in New Hampshire, and you're in southern New Hampshire, and all of a sudden you come to Mount Moosilauke, as you're going up, everything seems normal. Everything seems just like it's a nice grind. And then all of a sudden you come to Mount Moosilauke and the wide open, beautiful views of the Whites and what has to come. And then you start to descend Mount Moosilauke. Notorious for being one of the steepest and hardest descents on the trail. I didn't find it too bad myself. I was a little worried, just like most people are, fear can get in our heads and we start thinking it's going to be worse than what it is. Almost everywhere there was a sketchy descent or whatever, or going down the rocks or a slab or a rock face. There were trees to hold on to, like little handles as you're walking down. So you just got to take your time and be careful. But Mount Moosilauke begins going north, what is known as the Whites. And it goes through Gorham, Route 2. It actually technically goes into Maine a little bit, but as far as the New Hampshire Whites that I'm concerned with on my number 2 spot here, it starts with Mount Moosilauke. You then go over the Kinsmans. You continue on and come to one of the most famous spots of the Whites, Franconia Ridge. Absolutely stunning. You go over through 3 or 4 mountains, wide open, left and right. Not quite the drop-offs that you would see on Knife's Edge out in Washington in the Goat Rocks Wilderness or in Maine on Mount Katahdin. But still, you see beautiful views on both sides. You just don't have to worry about if you fall, you're not falling off the mountain if you're staying on the trail. So that's a good thing. Absolutely beautiful views. And then you're coming down, going over some more mountains, working your way over to Webster Cliffs and then the Presidential Range, which takes you up to Mount Washington. I mean, it's just mountain after mountain after mountain, hard, scrambly, intense climbs. Definitely will give you a workout, which is one reason I love it so much. But then you come to Mount Washington, which is the highest point of all of New Hampshire and all of the Northeast, and it is absolutely stunning and beautiful. A lot of people drive up there, so if you get there on the wrong day, you can have a lot of crowds. I happened to get there at 32 degrees and raining, so there wasn't too many people around, but it was absolutely beautiful. Then you continue on to Madison and down, and then over a couple more huge mountains where you can look back at the presidentials that you just went over. Absolutely stunning, beautiful, epic views, vast views, which is unlike the AT for the most part. You're getting the views that you would get out, say, on the PCT or CDT, where it's really wide open, and it's worth it. It's worth the grind you have to put in, because it is definitely a grind. It's a hard hike, but I would definitely try it if I were you. If you're new to hiking, you might want to get some hiking under your belt first, but it's right up there with any views I've seen in the country, and that is why I put the Whites at number 2. And now, what you all been waiting for, my number 1 favorite area, section of the Appalachian Trail. Once you leave Gorham, New Hampshire on Route 2 and cross over back on the AT, not too much longer, you will hit the state of Maine. Up until that time, the trail seems different. It's very foresty. It's very reminiscent of some of the things that you've already went through if you're through hiking on the AT. It's deceiving. It makes you think that, the Whites are done, everything is going to be great. Not the case. Number 1 of my favorite sections of the AT is Southern Maine. Not only is it one of my favorites and one of the most beautiful, but it is also the toughest, the hardest grind, and some of the most challenging scrambles, especially when it's wet, that you'll have on the AT. The cool thing about Maine is it's a little bit of the whole trail mixed together in one trail. But Southern Maine, you have rebarb, you have steps, you have open cliffs, you have open face rock, very steep trail. You have something called the Mahoosic Notch, which is just a very long section. The slowest mile on the AT, you might go a mile an hour, because you're basically going up and over boulders, down underneath boulders. It's a maze. It's a jungle gym. It's awesome. But basically, you come to Goose Eye first in Maine, and then you start hitting the Mahoosics, the Mahoosic Notch, the Mahoosic Arm. Then is this very steep climb up to the top of a summit after Mahoosic Notch. You then come down around a pond, and you start climbing up, which to me was one of the sketchiest sections on the whole trail, and that's going up Old Speck. You have to go off on a side trail to hit the summit, but just to climb up there, there is a section of rock that is so steep, and most everything in New Hampshire and Maine has trees and things you can grab onto to kind of steady yourself. I mean, it feels like you're going straight up. And if you was to slide, you're sliding all the way down. So it's a little sketchy. You have to be very careful. There was part of it I actually went on all fours just to keep my balance better. But it's still beautiful and worth it. And then after that, it gets even more epic. Then you come to the Baldpates, then Old Blue, which was a very small mountain, but very, very steep. And then once you come out of that, I think there's one other mountain after that, you come to some beautiful views of Rangeley and all the lakes in that area. Then after that, you hit the Saddlebacks, the Crockers, and then the Bigelows. 2 of each. Bigelows have 3, I believe. Bigelows are awesome. You're climbing up these rocks, getting right to the top and seeing views on all sides. Southern Maine is the most beautiful section on the AT, in my opinion. It is also the toughest, which is why it has deserved and well earned the #1 spot on my favorite section. It's about 112 miles. Go out and check it out. It's beautiful and awesome, and it's a grind. Your body will thank you, your eyes will thank you, and your soul will thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned to this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Next, I will be doing the same thing for the PCT and my 5 favorite sections of the PCT. Remember, these are not the most beautiful sections necessarily. These are beautiful sections along with how beautiful and awesome the trail was, and the forest changes and the terrain and the challenge and everything else to me. It's obviously an opinion. It's what I think is the 5 best sections. Go out and check them out. But if you don't go out and check these out, go check something out. Climb a mountain, hike in nature, and always live life.